Oh, my hearties, a very, very good evening to you. It's Saturday evening. Nothing gets past me, and it's Scottie McCLUE, and we're live on YouTube.
Streaming on YouTube just
I'll just take this off. I do apologise. Wee bit of a racket going on there. I'll turn that down right away. Very unusual. Must have just jumped up as we were arriving. Fantastic. Wakey, wakey, Scottie says ACOS. Wakey, wakey, ACOS says Scottie. There we are. Now, who have we got? Remember, you guys are coming on early. So, it's 8 o'clock we start, so less of the wakey wakies. Good evening, Scottie. Hope you've had a good day. Liked and shared. Stephen Douglas is on first, and a bit early, but just saying hello. Be back as soon as possible. Good stuff to do. Be back before it ends. Dinky-Doo. Well done, Stephen. Right. You pop off and get on with that. I forgot to say I managed to get a pic on my YouTube. That's me and Jules in the picture, taken today. Excellent stuff. Excellent day, Scottie, says the wonderful Eddie Doyle. Hello, Stephen, Scottie, how the devil are you this fine, warm and beautiful day? Kareem, is it not just a gorgeous day? Fantastic, absolutely. Made it back before it starts. Woohoo! Hello, Kareem. 23 degrees here, says Stephen. I'm at my folks waiting on dinner, says Kareem. Not to worry, Kareem. We'll have a few minutes, and then that's you into dinner for a delightful tuck-in. How wonderful is that? Just superb. Dinky-Doo, Scottie, how are you? Says the wonderful J-Dog Gaming. J-Dog, excellent. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Saturday evening stream. I think it'll be a cracker. And then a wee bit of cheek there from ACOS. Wakey, wakey, Scottie. Tot, tot, totty, tot, 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 tot. So there we are, ACOS. Whose stream is it? Wiki, wiki. There we are. Tony is on. Evening, Scottie. Evening, Anthony. Here we all are, the lads and the lassies. Yes, Thomas. And those who identify as anything else as well. Nice to have you with us. Hi, Scottie, says Jerry Boy. Hello, Jerry Boy. Lovely to have you on again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Scottie, do you think the SNP will lose a lot of young supporters due to lots of students getting undergraded? Well, J-Dog, we don't know if they have been undergraded. They'll find out. There's an appeal system set up, and they'll no doubt find out once they get the results of that. So there you go. But I don't think any political party could ever have managed to get a situation absolutely right when there were no exams. So there you are. So, of course, they were relying on something I think is the most wonderful thing in the world, a teacher's judgment. Excellent. Good evening, Scottie. Dinky-Doo. So there we are. But if they've marked it down from the teacher's judgment, then obviously all that will come out in the wash. There we are. Good evening, Scottie. Dinky-Doo from the wonderful Glen Peacock in the Midlands, from Sheffield, but in the Midlands. Eddie says, Scottie, I heard a broadcast about a man complaining about cats and dogs in his garden. He said he dealt with them. What was that all about? Oh, that was all sorted out at the time. But yes, we don't quite know. I think what he was saying, I don't think it sounds like it says it sounds, if you know what I mean. So there we are. Apparently it could take up to 9 months to get an appeal through. I know it's an anxious time, J-Dog, and it probably will take a bit of time because there'll probably be quite a lot of appeals. But I think it's very important for people to do that, and see what they can do, because it's to do with people's futures. But I don't think ever has any government been faced like this? And I think we've got to thank our lucky stars for the Scottish government, because they've handled the COVID pandemic. I'm just checking the right term there, the pandemic, so well. So there we are. But you see, I don't call them the SNP, I call them the Scottish government. I think that's the most important thing we have to do, because their main job is to govern the country. That's their job. Excellent. Now, what have we got here? I know from my previous studies, the SQA have external verifiers who double-check teachers and lecturers' marks. And it's the SQA verifier who has the final say? Well, absolutely, Anthony. Somebody has to say the buck stops here. Scottie, I had to dump my girlfriend when I found out she was a communist. I should have seen it coming, though. There were red flags everywhere. Going back to school next Friday, I'm in Group B. So there we are. Surname M to Z. Excellent, J-Dog. Very good, yes. Well, we'll hear how that all goes. So there you go. Wonderful. And I wonder, have you, are you looking forward to going back? Are our young people looking forward to going back? Scottie, the caller, when he said he'd put a stop to the cats, was joking. Hope so. Yes, I would think so. I would think he was just having a moan about the fact that the cats were using his garden as a lavatory. That sort of idea. Very, very important. Hello, says Erin. Hello, Erin. Dinky-Doo, and welcome. Lovely to have you with us. Absolutely. No, there were so many calls to the radio stations, from that point of view. Very, very interesting. Now, we're armed with our tea tonight. So, it's just delicious. It's absolutely delicious. We'll see how tonight goes. Fantastic stuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The low-dose steroid treatment, dexamethasone, is a major breakthrough in the fight against the deadly virus, UK experts say. Well, like anything, I'm glad the experts have said it, but like anything, Eddie Doyle, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And with all drugs, we need to check the side effects. I read that online, Scottie. Well, you see, as Abraham Lincoln said, don't believe everything you read on the internet. We've to watch the local cat. He tries to come in through the window when he smells food. Of course, Anthony, animals are terribly, terribly clever. You never dished out my yellow, Mr. McClue. No, you didn't get a yellow tam. We'll leave it at that. But don't be causing any trouble. No winding up, Glenn, tonight and all the rest of it, because you've got that sort of mischievous streak in you, and that's not right for this particular stream. That doesn't mean to say that they can't find a place for you somewhere, but it's just not right for the stream. So we didn't give you a yellow card. I'm looking forward to going back to school. It's just all the dangers that surround us at school. I'm supposed to be going to another school for a subject. Don't know how it's going to work, J-Dog. It'll all become clear because everybody is going to have a degree of experimentation until they get things right. But my experience of education, such as it is there's some excellent managers there, and they will find a system for you. No, I gave out for two people on the stream. Thomas, no, you don't give out cards on the stream. No, you give us a bit of chat or not. You do not dish out cards on the stream. So forget that. Was that you having a wee, saying if you could get a wee way in there, a wee swing on McClue's coattails? No. Tutty, tutty, tut, 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 tut. Absolutely, Thomas. I gave out the cards. No. Just trying to keep the stream tidy. I'm the security guard of the stream. That could be my new job. Excellent. What sort of security experience do you have? Wonderful. Right. I nearly said to the telephones there, guys. I'm so used to doing these shows for, in our 29th year on the radio and television, and I nearly said to the telephones there. I have said it before, if you remember, it does happen. I don't know if you would be a good security guard of the stream, says J-Dog. No, absolutely, J-Dog. I think you might actually be a better one if we were needing such a position if it existed. Evening, Lord McClue. Dinky-Doo, says the Archie61. Lovely to have you with us, the Archie, and Dinky-Doo to you. Pardon me. I would uphold law and order and rule with an iron fist. Would you rule with an iron fist in a velvet glove? So there you are. That's the important thing. Scottie, are you streaming on Facebook as well tonight? I'm not seeing the other comments on YouTube. So you should be able to see them. We're not streaming on Facebook. No, we haven't actually done that because I don't feel the devices that I've got are up to it yet, Tony. Once I get new devices, who knows? Hopefully I'll still be alive when enough pennies arrive to get new devices and we can then multi-stream. But I also like the idea everybody should be able to access YouTube if you're online. Am I right? So really, out of respect for people, rather than say, listen, I don't care what stream you're watching, it's Scottie McClue, I like to say, no, we're on YouTube. Join us there. We just need to get the word out there. Talking of which, share time, guys. Share. Right. Okay, I'm going to take a slightly different approach to the sharing tonight, if that's okie-cokey with you, and we'll get that out there. J-Dog says, I remember you used to share on the same device you were streaming. We'd lose you for a couple of seconds. Yes, it was... you can do that. You can share it from here, but I do lose you. You should stick to YouTube. What you're building here is glorious, says Thomas. Thomas, I like your choice of language there. I'm warming to your style. There we are, glorious. No, I think we are building on YouTube. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But it still looks like small audience. But when I see there are thousands watching during a day, all of the streams on YouTube, and that's quite interesting. Plus, as I say, I had a dafty go. You can't just stick up 2 hours and expect people to watch. Does the dafty not realize you watch what you want to watch? So even what we're doing right now tonight, after I finish, I get instant statistics. And very often people say the average listening was 35 minutes or something like that. So people are coming and going all the time. And that's very interesting as well. And what I loved about radio, what was fantastic about the radio setup was that people stuck with me for the 3 hours. The audience was solid. The figures were solid. There was a slight drop off as people went to their beds because it went on to 1 a.m. But I'm sure you've all seen the graph with the great big jump. I've liked, says Magnus. I was skeptical about coming over here at the start, but I like the setup, the chat facility, and the tapping of the dollar. Well, you've certainly been very kind at tapping the dollar. Who's tapped the dollar? Says Thomas. I thought about streaming on Twitch, says J-Dog, but thought about trying to get the same amount of subscribers on YouTube. Would be crazy. So there we are, getting the same amount of subscribers on YouTube. Don't quite follow you there, J-Dog. What were you saying? Do you think it's harder to get subscribers on YouTube? I find it funny that maybe 20,000 will view, and yet I've only got the 2,200 subscribers. What's so difficult about just clicking on the subscribe button on the picture at the top? That I find a bit funny. I think, what's going on here? Why not just subscribe? I would if I liked the site. Liked and shared, says the wonderful Erin. Thank you, Erin. Very, very much appreciated. Guys, I haven't shared at all. You're distracting me here with all your chat. And I can't get sharing. There we are. We'll do a little bit of sharing. And pardon me, we also want to experiment with different time slots. I think as time goes on, like I popped up at 3:30 the other morning and some people came and joined me. It was lovely. We had a very, very nice stream. But subscribe, please, all the time. It's so important. And get everyone else to subscribe. Say, are you subscribed to Scottie McClue? What do you mean subscribe? What do I do for that? Just click subscribe. All right. Okay. So there we are. So I put Scottie is live now. We'll just do this one. Scottie is live now. Is live now. No. And we'll put the URL because I want everybody to come and join us. There's nothing on television that beats this. And you're only going to be watching old repeats of stuff on your catch-ups. So you're better here where there are human beings, you know, and you can get a chat. Human beings. I told you somebody had said to me, how do you get to speak to a human being at the utilities company? Somebody else had said, don't pay your bill, they'll be on to you right away. They'll phone you. Oh, dear, oh, dear. I wonder what's going to happen economically. I don't want them blaming Brexit on COVID. We need to watch out for that one. But it'll be very interesting to see what happens. So there we are. So www.youtube.com/user/Scottie McClue 1. Right? Scottie is live now. And I think if I just pop that out, there we are. So I'll post that in the YouTube. So all the YouTubers will get it, the ones that have subscribed. You're still young, J-Dog. Time is on your side. Absolutely, Tam. You know, I mean, I'm starting for the first time in my life, obviously, to battle time now. You know, I love and love and love all the technology and would love to give it another 20, 30 years. But you just don't know what Anno Domini is saying. You know what I mean? There's always a bit of that. I have 878 subscribers on YouTube. I gave up promoting mine in 2013. I got lazy. I don't believe you are lazy, Tom. I think that you thought, no, this is not for me. I've got other things to do. So there we are. I do not think you are a lazy boy. But this has been on. I've had a YouTube channel since, I think, 2011. So about 9 years. But I haven't used it till about, 6 months ago. That sort of idea. And that was 5 months ago, probably. And that's when it all started. So I'll give you all a welcome here, guys. What are we doing? Whoa, we've had a fair old bit of chat on here, guys. So that's wonderful. Right, top chat becomes what? Live chat, is that right? There we are. And we'll do that and do that down there. Right, and I'll say, welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'll say it 3 times. I like to say it 3 times. I think that's quite nice. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then what I'll do, I'll also put on, what happens when I do that? Oh, there it is there. And I'll put on the URL just for you. www.youtube.com, because you might want to maybe copy and paste when you're sending it over. That would be a great help as well. I'm sorry there is all this palaver, but that just seems to go with the territory online. And I think that's why some people have got tiny amounts online and some people have got a good bit more, you know, because you're battling so much media out there. 878 is pretty good, Thomas. I've tried so hard over the years to get 100 subs on YouTube, but trying to get the same amount of followers on Twitch would be crazy. Is it harder to get followers, would you have said, than on there, J-Dog? So there we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Scottie, please do an early hours show next week. I may well do, Glenn, you know, but I'll let everybody know. But you'll be sound asleep in your bobos. It was so interesting just to try it. Can I have another 10 likes right away? I'll bet you half of you haven't liked it. So there we go. So please like it right now. Like. I'll just put that up in hard cash. Can we like the stream, please? Can we like the stream, please? Can we like the stream, please? Question mark. We've got to watch the grammar in case Gordon Robertson's watching and we get caught. So there we go. Fantastic. Thomas says, I think you should give J-Dog access to admin facilities and he can do the legwork, sharing, etc. You could concentrate on the talking. A fine idea, if you ask me. It is a fine idea, Tom, but J-Dog has got a lot on his plate and has very kindly offered to do a bit of admin work. And I said I may well avail myself of that wonderful facility at some point. But at the moment, I want to keep it as part of the setup as well. If we had the lovable laddie, if we were on a big television station, he could type, or the wizard of the big switchboard, the lovable lassie, I should say, and the wizard of the big switchboard. That were the two appointments. I've sent you a like. Thank you, Anthony Mac. You're a very kind man. Very appreciated. Scottie, trust me, I will be awake. Well, Glenn, if you think you can be awake, we would let everybody know. I didn't warn anybody the other night because it was ad hoc. I was just about to go to bed. And I thought, I wonder who is about at this time of night. And I thought, well, only one way to find out, McClue. Go to it, boy. And that's what I did. And it was interesting. It's harder to get followers, Rich. Nobody really can find you unless you've quite a bit of followers. I see what you mean. So it's what we call, J-Dog, chicken and egg. But you see, how can people find you on YouTube if they don't know about you? I mean, all my followers from a few years ago, millions and millions of people. So they obviously, it's only the ones that go, tell you what, I was wondering, do you remember Scottie McClue? Type it in and see if he's on anything. Oh, he's on YouTube. That's not, but I do meet people very often. They go, I know exactly who you are, Scottie. I regularly trawl through your YouTube channel. It's fantastic. Get all the old chat because they thoroughly enjoyed it. It was just huge. And there's been nothing in radio to touch Scottie McClue. You know, they've got what they call talk stations at the moment, but they think that everybody's interested in politics, and they're not, you know. Newsflash. So there we go. So that's why I just do chat, because talk radio is for the people. What you're doing if you're interviewing the Prime Minister and you're talking about Brexit and all that on talk radio is you're talking at the people. McClue talks with the people and to the people, and the people talk with McClue and to McClue. You know, and that's what it's all about. Remember when they called you McGlue, Scottie? That was down in Sheffield because they couldn't say the K of McClue. Because if you look at it, most English people can't say the CH, so they talk about Loch Lomond rather than Loch Lomond. And I am McClue, but they called it McGlue. So there we go. Absolutely. And I used to go to places and say, does anybody know who I am? The sheriff, McGlue. Wonderful stuff. But again, I've told you about picking up the phone 2 years after when I'd returned to Magic Radio in Sheffield, picked it up and said, Hallam FM, good afternoon. And they went, hello, hey, are you him? So that was it. I said, who's him? McClue. You're correct about YouTube. Unless you have a unique name, nobody can really find you. And my name, which they don't let you change it too many times, you'd notice I had hashtags, and then I thought that looks a wee bit clumsy, so I took the hashtags off. So I've changed it from Scottie McClue to Scottie McClue, the world's top talk show. You know, so there you are. That's quite a unique name, but people still have to look it up. Scottie McClue, we should all stick together. I was working all day, missed the glorious weather, though I didn't miss the off license on my way home. Ha-ha, says Thomas. Good for you, Thomas. But Thomas, I did that all my life since I was 12. I've just worked and worked and worked, but I don't make anything of that. I just say to people, never done a handstand in my life, you know, and travelled and commuted, planes, trains, buses, private cars, taxis, everywhere, sort of big vehicles, small vehicles, anything at all, working. And so, you have it to do, as they say, and you're no doubt wanting to build a future for yourself and your good lady and that sort of thing. And therefore, you have to do a bit of graft. You've got to put in a full shift. Scottie, please, can you tell me how many radio broadcasts are available on YouTube? Well, there's about 1,000 pieces of video and audio. And I would say that maybe about 600 of those will be pure radio. So there you are. So I would get myself onto that if I were you. Hashtags don't really do anything when you have them in your channel name. They're better used in streams or videos. Absolutely, J-Dog. Well, I just took them out the channel name, and that was that. So very, very interesting. I have a day off on Monday to take Fia to the vet and Bronna, our daughter, to nursery. My two rascals. Well, bless them and bless you, I say. Tony says, I heard an English announcer trying to say Greenock. He said Greenock. So annoying. There's two E's in the name and not one. Well, I had to correct a very, very senior broadcaster once. He said, where is it you're from, Scottie? With that sort of very look down your nose cut glass accent. And I said, I'm from Greenock in the west of Scotland. And he went, you're from where? I said, from Greenock in the west of Scotland, a big port on the west coast. And he went, oh, Greenock. I said, no, Greenock. Try it again. And he was a wee bit dischuffed with me. Try it again. To somebody who's a top broadcaster. Loved it. So there we are. You do need to get these things right. Every day or two, I get a new video out of your streams. They are getting out. They are getting out. Remember, Alistair, as far as I can ascertain, I learned to my cost, to my detriment, that the people couldn't see the videos. They were on privacy or something like that. So only if you knew what sort of URLs or links or things like that could you go on the videos. Now they're there for everybody to see. The playlists are up there. There's a bit of work still to be done. And you've got new thumbnails. Check out the thumbnails. Scottie, I think you'd make an awesome presenter of your own Scottish TV show, says Eddie Doyle. Thank you, Eddie. I think I would love to try a half hour on a Friday or Saturday night doing what we're doing right now, but reading out texts, taking emails, taking phone calls, and having even a bit of shout out. And we just do this. I think the Scottish people would love it. As maybe the pronunciation of Greenwich confuses the English. Yes, Greenwich Mean Time. Could be, absolutely. But these things are all different. I mean, I can remember doing a lecture on English to international students, and I said to them, do not think English is in any way superior to your own beautiful languages. It's just different. That's the stuff. I second that, Eddie, says Stephen Douglas. Yes. Would you watch if McClue was on and said Friday night, 11:30 to midnight, Scottie McClue with your calls and texts and chit-chat and banter. I think this would be better suited to during the night slot instead of the roulette and night screen. Well, we might try it, Thomas, just to see what happens, It all depends what happens with the day job. The phone calls were awesome, Scottie. Glenn, I have to agree with you. The phone calls were awesome. Absolutely. Guys, we haven't done any sharing, and the figures are sliding because nobody shared a thing. So nobody, bar us, knows that we're on. At this rate, we'll be doing it in one of the pop-ups that takes half a dozen. It's important to share. We have to share. Right. There we go there. So this is getting shared big style right now. Thank you. So if everybody can do that, that'd be great. Can I have another half dozen likes, please? I mean on TV. Yes, absolutely, Thomas. I got what you meant. Yes, pop up instead of late night gambling and stuff like that. Have McClue on for a chat. But taking the phone calls would be the answer as well. But the trouble is the wee idiots that think it's funny to swear, not realizing that we're guests in people's houses, like their mum and dads and their nan and their granda and all that sort of thing. So, we need to get the profanity device on. Scottie, I usually phone Radio Scotland. I phone the Kay Adams show on different topics. I'll phone in when she's back from Halls and see if I can get you back in the system. Yes, do have a chat about that. That would be lovely. The Leicester Square London-based group of radio stations should give McClue a chance. Could give the politics a break for an hour or two. Yes, instead of the politics, have the People's Show. So instead of saying the politics show comes next, say the People's Show comes next. It's your turn. Because these calls that they're taking are very sort of sparse. And, they're only ones that agree with the presenter. When did anyone ever agree with me on air? I ask you. One more share, guys, and then we're back to it. Fantastic. There we go. Scottie, my dad was a Glasgow black cab driver for many years, and the Glasgow cab drivers loved your radio broadcast. I don't know why, Eddie Daw, because they got the mince ripped out them terribly, but they did enjoy it as well. When they used to phone up, I would say, what have you got? And they would say, I've got an FX4 and that. And I would say, have you done your injectors? Have you paid your radio? Have you got your diesel sorted out? Fantastic. We used to take the mints and say they were all minted, wooden lavatory seats and fitted carpets. That was the big thing at the time. What have I got here? Who am I sharing this? Oh my goodness me. Right. Hang on. I've gone on to something else here I'm sharing with. I'll just have to do a wee bit of type for a second. There we are, and get that up there, and then people will know. Wonderful. Right, that'll do just now, and we'll also pop in that we do a bit of that. Because, you see, proper talk radio is not talking at the nation, it's talking with the nation and to the nation. What a lovely day it was today. It's so nice to feel the warmth of the sun. It makes life more bearable. I can remember going to Crete, the Archie, and I stepped off the aircraft and just this waft of heat welcomed me. Like when you go into a council office in the winter and as you go through the glass door, you just get a blast of heat, Did you ever say that's except for viewers in Scotland on the TV? Continuity announcers, so annoying. A continuity announcer now is a different creature. They've been pressurized into ruining the end of movies. I'm surprised it's allowed, actually, because, it should be that if you're taking the movie, it would be nice to let the credits all play out and the theme tune, because movies, like music, have an effect on your central nervous system. And at the end of a big movie, if you've sat and watched something for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, an hour and a half, an hour, you're into it, and you don't want a voice jarring you out of your mood. So you're watching the end of it, they're going, da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. And someone goes, right, well, don't forget, there's comedy in half an hour on here. You think, shut up. Or they make the screen go small when you're looking for the name of an actor. You say, I'll find out, here's the credits, find out who that guy was that played that. That was brilliant. And you're just watching, and suddenly the screen goes small. and the half-wit screams at you. And you think, that is not announcing. See, when I was an ITV announcer back in the day, we watched the programs with the public. And we popped up in vision. And we said, hello, I hope you're enjoying the programs tonight. People go, oh, look, it's himself. Hi. And then you would tell them what was coming up next. And then you'd watch the movie. You say, now it's time for this evening's movie. Let's watch it together. And it made people feel welcome watching the channel. You know what I mean? I had an experience like that at Knock Airport, Scottie. Brian M., First Lord, how do you do? Brian M., better for hearing you, I have to say. Talk about lavies. Do you remember the outside lavies? Some houses didn't have an indoor lavy, and some had the lavy in the close that they shared with the rest of the close. So there you are, you had one lavy between 4 houses. Yes, happened to me at Bottom Airport. So wait a minute. What have we got here? What's happened to you? All right, was this the heat? Yes, when you got off at Knock. Knox. You can't get moving for clerical gear. Yes, nuns and priests at Knock Airport. So busy. Planes coming and going all the time. Wonderful. I loved it. Fantastic. Everybody going about saying the rosary. Just amazing. Was that what you were saying, Tam, about the heat? Popping off to take the dog out. Be back though. Stephen Douglas, top man. I thought you were leaving us for the whole broadcast, but you're just leaving us at the start. And now you're going to pop out with the dog. Remember, when it's Scottie McClue, the dog comes first. Very important. Guys, I need another dozen likes. Absolutely. There we are. Just do it. Just do it, Tam. That's what I say. Right, what else have I got here? I'm going to do a wee bit more sharing. And a bit of that. Lovely. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. Good. And wee bit of that. And wee bit of this. Oh, that's lovely, that is. Absolutely fantastic. Right, I'm going to send this one out, guys, and that will hopefully let everyone know we're on, because it is a battle, I have to say. My dog had 2 short walks today, far too warm for her. Absolutely, Tam. Just out to do the business, I say, and back in. Lots of drinks, lots of lying in the cool. Do you remember when you had houses, when you had a concrete floor in the kitchen, and the dogs used to love that? They would lie and get cool. Because dogs perspire through their mouth. They don't sweat under their paws. Got Mrs. Mac an anniversary present for our 15th anniversary this Wednesday. I think it's traditional for crystal gifts. Is that what you call a crystal wedding? I'm getting too old for swinging. Oh, no, sorry, getting too old for swinging on those crystal chandeliers. Absolutely. Yes, the crystal chandeliers. Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful. There we go. Good for you. So it's 15 years, a crystal anniversary. 25 years is a silver. 50 is a gold. 60 is a diamond. And 70 is a ruby. Is that right? Now, is there 80 years married? Would that be a pearl? Have I got that right? Come and tell me. Do tell. For goodness sake. So there we are. No, so we need these numbers up tonight, guys. So we need to keep sharing and tell everybody so that everybody knows what's going on. I'll get this up here. There's somebody looked at that right away. It's McClue has got a huge following online, but it's getting them to come to put in the URL for the YouTube and come and join us. Yes, round the corner to the shops and back twice, 5 minutes each way. More than enough for her. She's a yearly booster on Monday. Good one, Tam. Excellent stuff. Yesterday was a real hot one. It is when you go out, you think, I mean, I go out in the morning, I put a jumper on, and then I think, what am I doing? It's roasted. into a grease spot here. Great way to lose weight. Charlie Pride, what a song. The crystal chandelier lights up the paintings on the wall. The marble statuette stands stately in the hall. I love all that. Your country and western man, Tam. I love all that. So there we are. 80 years married is a miracle. Oh, I think so. You'll have broken a lot of mirrors to do that. Now, I think when you're 80 years married, you're probably in it for the duration. But, you might have married at 16, 17, and nowadays, 97, I've still got the telegrams from my grandfather's wedding, and that was 1910. So there we are. Peril for the year 30, says Eddie Doyle. Coral for year 30. Oh, Eddie Doyle, this is fantastic. Coral for year 35. Ruby for year 40. Sapphire for year 45. Gold. Gold for year 50. Diamond. So sapphire's 45. Diamond for 60. Blue sapphire for 65. Platinum for 70. And finally, oak for year 80. Well, you know what they make out of oak? So there we go. They probably think by 80 years married, you'll just be ready for the oak. But no, nowadays, people are out, people say, you say, how's your granda doing? You say, not bad, he's 92. And is he doing what? He's got a new girlfriend, And he tells me, he says, nobody could ever replace your grand, but he's got a new girlfriend. So there we are. Yo, Scottie, says Carlos Donnelly. Lovely to have you with us, sir. The song is a guilty pleasure of mine, Scottie. I love playing it on my penny whistles. You're a penny whistle man. Do you know any Julian pipers? Yo, Carol. Hi, Scottie. I'm back home now, folks. How are you all? Have I missed much? Kareem, you have missed 40 minutes of joy. Fantastic. Edification and delight. Eddie Doyle's your friend's name. Eddie Doyle is your friend's name. Google. Is your friend's name Google? Oh, very good, the Archie. I see what you just did there, the Archie. You're having a go. Top man, sir, says Carlos Donnelly. You are indeed, sir. You are a top man. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I was a bit off more than I could chew. But although it all, when there was a doubt, I ate it up and spit it out, faced it all and stood tall and did it my way. Good one, Kareem, because I can remember being in an Indian restaurant in Birmingham, and the waiter came up and he went, karaoke? I said, yes, stick us down for Frank Sinatra my way. So there we go. A wonderful rendition of Finbar Furies, Lonesome Boatman. The Furies. I love the Furies as well, of course. Is that Irish Scottish pipes, says Alistair Campbell? No, I think that's just Irish pipes, the Julian pipes. And then you've got the Northumberland pipes. And you've also got, there's other ones as well. The Julians are big and I think tend to be metal like a flute. But they've all got the wee bellows strapped under your arm. It's such a shame there's copyright around on the YouTube. Otherwise, I'd love to play you songs as well. I play a wonderful rendition of Finbar Fury's Lonesome Boatman. Wonderful. Carol Donnelly says, I donated to your GoFundMe, £10. You're welcome. Carol Donnelly, that is extremely kind of you. Thank you. There is a link for the GoFundMe at the top page, guys, and we're just about there. I think we've got about another, is it £1,100 to go on GoFundMe? Kareem says, Scottie, what are your plans for next week? Feeds, any idea? I don't know, Kareem. I think we'll definitely be doing a Monday night. And we'll work out different ones for you. So it won't be stopping in its entirety, but there may be nights I'm not on, if you get the meaning. So there we are. Top man, Carol Donnelly. Yes, absolute top man. Thanks, Eddie Doyle. Carol Donnelly is a top man. Carol's been around a long time supporting McClue. I love the Frank Sinatra song, That's Life. The words I thought of quitting Baby, But My Heart Won't Buy It. Last time I did karaoke, everyone left, so I just sing in the shower now. And of course, McClue's a black belt in karaoke. You know, fantastic. Hello, one drink of me. Come on, sing up, guys. You want to get the audience joining in with you as well. Had a wonderful trip to Edinburgh Zoo today, Scottie. All these penguins. I remember being in a luxury hotel at a dinner. I wasn't staying in the luxury hotel. The dinner were hosting. The dinner was being hosted in a luxury hotel. And they had a beautiful big grand piano in the foyer. And I thought, I'll give them a wee tune in the Joanna. So I sat down, and as soon as you start playing, drunken Scots go, hey, shut up, get off, you know, and then as they hear you playing, they go, oh, one even threw a coin, not throwing a coin like people throw coins at a football match and get done for it. He just thought it was funny to chuck a couple of pence on the floor, you know, as if I was some beggar busking in a luxury hotel at midnight, you know, but I just had to try out the grand piano, and then they shut up. And I always remember being with an opera singer friend in a pub in Glasgow, a very, very well-known pub. And he said to people around, I'm just going to sing, it's my mate's birthday. And he sang a Scottish song. He was an opera singer, because I worked in opera at the time. And it was just outstanding. And as soon as he started to sing, the pub started shouting at him, hey, shop, give us 10 guitars, tough to me. Oh. All these half-witted idiots. And then they actually heard this basso profundo voice start to sing a Scottish song, and the whole pub went absolutely silent. Seriously, you could have heard a pin drop. There then was massive thunderous applause at the end of the song. And then people were shouting out, Biggin, you gonna sing one more? Sing one more, Biggin, just one more, you know? And he said, no, the pub doesn't have a music license. Oh, Biggin, please, that was just amazing. You know, and actually, the full beat, you know. That will be the pipes played by the Chieftains. Yes, there's Julian's. Now, I'm a massive Chieftains fan. Have you ever heard, what's the one, the young men came to lay me down? Oh, I have to stop. Even if I'm working, I've got a Chieftains tape on when I'm working or some tape. Do you see what I just did there? Yes. Cassettes. I still have cassettes. There we are. Just a quick visit, Scottie. I need to go. Nice popping up. Speaking to you. You're welcome for the money. Carl Donnelly, bless you. And Dinky-Doo, thank you for your kindness and your generosity. Thank you, thank you, thank you, we say on here. It's very much appreciated, and it will be put to good use because we're saving up for equipment. Wonderful. Well done to you, Scottie. Your talents stretch miles. Take a wee drink to wet your whistle. Yes, I will actually have a wee drink. Carrick Fergus by the Chieftains. Carrick Fergus. Stop. I love the recordings, the Chieftains. If you listen very carefully to their early recordings, after they've played a magnificent tune, you'll hear one that go, ah, that was a good one, eh? I love seeing drunk people singing at a karaoke. They sing in a strange language. And what's amazing is how other drunk people seem to understand it. Oh, absolutely, Anthony. Who's given me £5? Somebody has tapped the dollar. Ding-a-ling, ding, ding, ding. What meat do you normally go for when you go for a carvery, Scottie? Robert Scrimger, never turkey. Always, carveries, always roast beef. Sometimes the chicken. So there we are, but virtually always roast beef, you know. Karim Zachariah, you naughty, naughty, naughty boy. He's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy indeed. Karim Zachariah, thank you, thank you, thank you for that. You are very, very generous. I was just thinking today, that man has given me a fortune by tapping the dollar. Thank you, Kareem. Very much appreciated. So sad our time, Scottie, has come to an end during lockdown, but we stand tall and await our next challenge when the winter comes. Kareem, absolutely. You know, it's all very well going back to school, but I don't know. I wish I was in Carrickfergus. Oh, I wish I was in Carrickfergus. Absolutely. What's happening? Bronchio. I don't know what that one means, bronchio. I don't understand that one. Scottie, have you ever been to a ceilidh? Eddie Doyle. I was brought up going to ceilidhs almost every Saturday night. My father was a very famous Scottish violinist. And, well, he was famous enough in the house anyway. And he was also a great MC of fiddlers' rallies and things like that. And also the other fiddlers' rallies that would have maybe the Reverend James Curry being the MC, things like that, I would go along to. And big singers they would have there, like Alistair Gillis and folk like that. And the west of Scotland can really host a ceilidh, and wonderful players as well. And there was always a ceilidh after a fiddler's rally, because you had all these fiddlers, and my father would stand up and say things like McAllister and, you know, do all these and do very funny stories. And he was quite quietly spoken. And I remember him telling something, and I was sitting in the audience feeling for him. I thought, oh, Dad, keep them interested. We can hardly hear this, but we can hear it. And I was feeling for my dad, and he pressed on. And he came to the punchline and brought the whole house down. There must have been about maybe 2,000 people in the audience, you know, things like that. Absolutely incredible. The Cause of the Chieftains do a great version of I Know My Love. Yes, absolutely. So have I been to ceilidh? I have emceed more ceilidhs than I could shake a stick at. You know, fantastic. And done all my stuff. Scottie, up to 750,000 UK COVID test kits have been recalled due to safety concerns. I know, Kareem, they're rushing stuff through, and there's pressure from people hoping to maybe get a share of the dosh. You know, I'm not saying they're con artists or anything. I'm just saying they're hoping to get a share of the dosh. And in their desperation, the government needs to sit and take stock and say, who knows what they're doing here and who doesn't? None of us know very much about COVID-19, but we're learning. None of us know very much about coronavirus, but we're learning. We should have locked down about 2 weeks to a month earlier. Yes, we understand that now. We acknowledge it. And this is where I really take my bonnet off to the Scottish government and to the First Minister, who have been straight with the public and said there's things that we're all trying to understand, you know, rather than go on like some other leaders and just bluster and then leave you thinking, well, I don't know what that was about. I didn't understand a word of it, you know? So it's a question of going on and saying, here's what we know. And I was reading an article today about how COVID has brought America to its knees and that it's not really being helped by the way it's being managed. That's all I'll say about that, you know? So there we go. Hello, Scottie from Nottingham. Dougal Doug, lovely to have you with us from Nottingham. Please share this with everybody else in the Midlands. Guys, you've just reminded me. More sharing. Fantastic. See if we can get these figures up tonight. Apparently there's a chippy cafe that has the owner singing opera while he's at the Friar. Oh, Grobler, yes. Well, very often if somebody was brought up in Italy, they understand singing technique. Italian people in general are very, very creative and artistic. I mean, that's a sweeping generalization. but they just have a great feel for the arts, you know? And it's just the way it was all brought up, and opera, what have you. So there we are. I liked the Crankies, Janet and Ian. They actually, the last time I saw them, they were very, very funny in Cinderella at the Hydro, you know, with who else was involved in that now? Oh, yes, Big John. Big John was involved in it as well. Fantastic, yes. And the Crankies were the stars on there. Very, very funny. I'm on my antibiotics, Scottie. The nurses are beautiful. I love the NHS. Say no to private. NHS, my treatment would cost me like £42,000 every 2 weeks. For goodness sake, Bronchi. That's like £42,000 every 2 weeks. I don't know. Right, I need to have a bit of a wipe down. There we go. Sorry, not a wipe down, a comfort break. You know what I'm saying? We have all the facilities here. Thank you so much to Kareem for tapping the dollar. The Big Sean, says Tam. Absolutely, Tam. There we go. Wonderful stuff. Right, we're not on to all that. There we go. Right, remember not to start all that, Tam. Good evening, Scottie. Late on tonight. How's the stream going tonight? Fantastic, Craig Cochran. Lovely to have you with us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We did talk about times and things, and I appreciate a summer's night, 8 o'clock in the evening. People go, who's going to be watching that? But people are. It's lovely. There we are. His fritters are made out of Pavarottis. William Wallace, very nice. I see what you just did there. Luciana Pavarotti. And who were the other great tenors? Who else? Jose Carreras. Fantastic. Another wonderful, wonderful tenor. Scottie, do you think, and of course, Placido Domingo. Scottie, do you think the UK is far too dependent on the service industry now? Pardon me, I know times move on, but would we have had the same economic collapse if we had a strong industrial complex? Well, it depends, Robert, on what you're manufacturing. Because, manufacturers can be incredibly flexible, as we've seen. And the motor companies during the Second World War turned themselves over to turning out aircraft, you know. And it was Tom Sopwith, Thomas Octave Murdoch Sopwith, T-O-M, Tommy Sopwith, wonderful man. He saved this country twice with his defence. Because he ran what became Hawkers, what was Sopwith aircraft in the First World War. And he came back and ordered, he saw what they were doing in Germany. I think he'd been out to this would be about 1936, and I think he'd been out to the Heinkel factory, where they were doing the Heinkel aircraft. And when he came back, he ordered aircraft from his own plant. I don't know if there would be Hurricanes by that time, if they had the Hurricane. And he ordered them up, and he said, I have an order here. And said, who are they for, Sir Thomas? And he went, for me. Because he knew that the people at the government would be panicking. They wouldn't understand what was going on, but they would be panicking. And Churchill did warn them. He said, what are they making in Germany? Lederhosen, lager beer. And the House of Commons were all laughing. But, you know, then when the government said, and they said, we need fighter aircraft, and Tommy Sopwith said, right, it just so happens I've got some, and sold them the Hurricanes. There you are. Good evening, Scottie. This is the wonderful Joseph Aitken. So in answer to your question, would we be better if we were manufacturing? It depends what we're manufacturing. If we were manufacturing aircraft, then there wouldn't be a great call for them right now. So our factory would be struggling. Things like that, new cars, all that sort of stuff, nobody's traveling. you know. The wonderful Joseph Aitken says, good evening, Scottie. Not been on for a couple of weeks. Great to see you're still going. Lovely to have you with us, Joe. And yes, we will keep going as long as the people like it. That's the idea. This is the people's show, and there should be millions watching right now, but not enough people know about it, Joseph. We need somebody who's got millions on their YouTube channel just to send it around and say, anybody watching Scottie McClue right now? And people go, wait, where's that on? Woo! And off we jolly well go. Yes, inside information. No, please say no. Lol, take care. We catch up soon, my friend. When feeling better, Bronchi, we send you love and strength. Get well. The Bronchi has got respiratory challenges, and he's based in Salford. I was a big Scottie McClue fan when I broadcast in Manchester and the Northwest. Do you ever watch Janie Godley's voiceover videos, the First Minister Daily Broadcast? Magnus, I do. I think she's incredibly talented and very funny. Obviously, the language is a wee bit sudden, you know, but it goes on. And as the First Minister herself said, she would not use that language, but it's for amusement, entertainment purposes only. And Janie is a very, very talented comedian and actress. I send her best wishes. So yes, I do. Craig Cochrane is very late. He's late, Thomas, but as you know, there are no sanctions or punishment for being late to a Scottie McClue live stream because people have already suffered enough. They've missed a moment of McClue. They've missed a moment of life. Guys, I need 10 more likes. 10 more likes. So there we are. How was your day, Craig? Says Tam. So there we chat. Liked and shared as always. Job done. Good one, Craig. Did you hear about the guy who walked into a bar and found out there were no darts? He turned round 180 and went home. 180. We love it. Thomas says, Janie Godley blocked me on Twitter, Magnus, because it said she was embarrassing and not funny. Well, you would block somebody that said something like that, Tam. You know, you just block them, you know. That's poor Robert. So there you go. I'm very late, Thomas. I had a good day, although I've missed an hour of McClue. You have. You will need to listen on catch up. Wonderful. That'll sort you out. Right, let's see if we can get this audience up, guys. It's who we share with, I think. So let me see if I can do a wee bit of sharing and attract one or two people. That would be quite nice. We say, could we attract one or two? So, well, I hope so. So there we go. And I'll share this here. Showing here. Remember I told you about the sale room. Lot number 301, the painting of the lady at the cottage door. Showing here. Anybody go to the sale rooms? We love it. Right, I'll see what I've got on here. See what I've got on here. And I don't know if I've got the right, what do I have to do? So, oh yes, I have to do that. And I shall just say, yes. I'm just looking what we've got here. There we are. I'll apply that, and we'll see what happens if we pop this on, guys. Descriptive headline. So that's that. Good. And I'll post that, and we'll see what happens. There we are. Wonderful stuff. Yes. There's a message back. Wonderful. Yes. So there we go. So that didn't work. So I have to post again. Right. The Cores and Rod Stewart do a great version of Ooh La La. It reminds me of old granddad's advice on women still learning. Poor old grandson, you'll have to learn just like me. It's the hardest way. My grandfather used to say, experience is a great teacher, but he asks a high price. There we are. It certainly did for me. Well, Craig Cochrane, you've been punished enough. If you miss a moment of McClue, you miss a moment of life. You do indeed. Everybody should be watching. Late again. Hello, Scotty. Davy Young, you're here. And that's what matters. You know, I remember a friend of mine turning up at the office and a secretary savaged him as soon as he walked in. She said, you should have been here at 9 o'clock. And he said, why, what happened? He was having none of her nonsense. So there we are. Yellow card to Joseph for missing a fortnight's worth of McClue. No, Thomas, remember, no yellow cards. No yellow cards for missing. That's his loss. Poor old Joseph has lost out, but he might go and catch up. Absolutely, Thomas, says Craig. Good evening, Scotty. Just realised the time. What have I missed? Catherine Raven, you have missed an hour and 5 minutes of the most fabulous stream I think we've ever done. And we've done a lot of fabulous streams. So there it goes again, I tell you. Right, we'll leave that just now. That one didn't work out the way we wanted it to, but it doesn't matter. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm also going to share on some of the other Facebook stuff. Get that out there. If you can all do the same, guys, that would just be awesome. Have you ever heard that one? Just awesome. There we go. Lovely, lovely. And that's going out to a page I manage. I love that. Share on a page you manage. Oh, I'll manage. And don't worry, I'll manage. There we go. Now, Catherine, hello, welcome. Yes, Catherine, the time is flying. Catherine Raven's later than Craig, says Tam. Tam, nothing gets past you, does it? I'll tell you. My work has an office in Manchester. It will do, Tam, yes. The financial sector is going to have to get its act together after all of this because there'll be a lot of people not able to afford things. And that's just going to be the way of it. So there we are. Thomas Peden, you are correct, but I'll not put that on. We're not going to start a war there. Glad to see I'm not the only one that's late. It must be the weather. No, Davy Young, I mean, what is old McClue like going on and doing a show at 8 o'clock on a summer's Saturday evening when everybody will be having a chat on the phone, watching a movie, watching some football, talking to their pals, texting, all that stuff. So Scottie McClue's YouTube will be the last thing they'll be thinking of until it catches on. And that's why I want all of us to be around for that moment. And it will catch on, but I mean, because, what's not to like about what we do? There's the wonderful Erin saying, hi, Catherine, and the wonderful Catherine. I'm just here, Thomas. I got caught up in the phone making dinner and trying to cut the grass all at the same time. So you were making dinner, doing the grass, and on your phone. 5 more likes. There we go. Scotty, your thoughts on 8 footballers going to pubs and now having to self-isolate due to some testing positive. Was it responsible or was it putting the game at risk and others? Well, it's interesting because they went to a pub. Now, the pubs were open, but I think that I watched people have ad hoc games during this, and they're not social distancing. They're not so, and playing football, you're not social distancing. And young players, come on and we'll just go. I mean, what's our chances of catching it? Huge, massive. Somebody should have said that to them. No, you can't. It's that sort of idea, Always remember somebody telling me that during the Second World War, there was a guy who had just come off duty and he got into the house and the sirens went. And the family, everybody would go and you would hear all the lavatories flushing and people were going down the shelter. And this lady said to her man, right, come on, you hurry up. And he went, what's my chances of a bomb dropping in our house. You know, I mean, what's our chances? Well, we should be down the shelter. And well, come on, I'm going to just sit here and have a dram at the fire. And direct hits, end of him, end of dram, end of fire, end of house, direct hit. Awful. You know, poor soul, but there it goes. How's it going tonight? Oh, the wonderful Gordon Robertson has joined us. Yes, I sometimes go to Anita's auction house in White Inch. So there we are. Prices for extortionate price for old bric-a-brac. You know, people love it. I mean, you know, in the days when I had a few bob, I used to love going to the antiques. And I can remember I didn't need it or want it, but there was a lovely piano. And it was there, and the guy said, so the piano, what can we say for it? Can we say 300, 400, 300, 200 to start me? All right, 100 to get it away, £100 for the piano, 100, 90, 60, 50. I'll take £10 for the piano, £10 to start me. Pass it. Right? A month later, I'm in the sale room. What can we say for the piano? Can we say £100 to start? Get it away, £100. 125, 150. £150 for the piano. Same piano. 150 at 150, you all done? 160, 170, 180. 200, I'll go up in 20s. £200 for the piano. Are we all done? 220, 240, 260, 280. You still bidding, sir? £300 for the piano. At £300 for the piano, and I'm selling 320. 320, new bidder. Thank you, sir. 320, 340, 340. £340 for the piano. You all done? 360. You're all done at 360 at £360. It's a very nice piano. Sold your bid, sir. Well done. And a dealer behind me said, I could have got that for a tenner about a month ago. Isn't that lovely? So there you are. There's always the daft, eh? Does anyone have a phone number? Someone who could build a 6-foot gate in Lanarkshire. It's for my new dog, if I can get the high gate made. I was very lucky when Lord Reith was young. He was such a big dog. And when he was young, he would leap any fence, just woof, and away. Well, woof. See what I just did there? And I can remember when I moved to Scotland, I said to the local farmer, can you do me a fence? He went, aye. I said, now, honestly, farmer, the problem is this dog is some jumper. He went, don't you worry. I've seen them all. He says, I'll do you a fence that he'll never get over. So that was it. Wonderful farmer. Built this brilliant fence, and he came, knocked the door. Now, Scotty, you can let your dog out now. He'll be safe in the garden. Reith comes out and goes woof, straight over the fence. And the farmer goes to me, you go and get him, I'll sort this. How fantastic is that? Scotty, I might be getting a 1-year-old Turkish Kangal dog. Now, Catherine Raven, as you know, McClue is no slouch when it comes to a wee bit of knowledge, but you've got me there. I do not have any experience of a Turkish Kangal dog. Would you like to fill us in on a little bit more detail? Thank you. Thank you, I say. Hi, Catherine. Hope you're doing okay, Sister A. Checking in. Hi, Scotty. Sam Op. Lovely to have you with us. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, I say. Busy, Tony. I'm good, thanks. Hope you and Mrs. Mac are good. You guys are chatting there. Good stuff. Scotty says, Kareem, Ofqual in England have confirmed that individual pupils will not be allowed to challenge grades. No appeals, basically, brackets, close brackets. Look what's happening here. Very, very interesting. So, yes, well, we'll see how popular that makes the English administration. We may have all to get our acts together as well, says Alistair Campbell. Yes, Alistair, all of us have a responsibility. You know, people are not good at taking responsibility. That's why you get these people camping and going and doing ones and twos in the bushes and leaving it there. Do you know what I mean? Leaving the rubbish. Some of them are even burning their tents because they're not worth taking with them. Now, these are the kind of people that litter, people that throw beer cans away in the street, smash bottles. These are the kind of idiots that have never realized that they have to take responsibility for themselves, you know? So it's an irresponsibility that's wrong with these people. You know, with freedom comes responsibility. Straight formula, McClue's formula, with freedom comes responsibility. And you've got to take that responsibility on board. So we all have to get our acts together. But Alistair Campbell, you've always had your act together, I suspect. You're a man who's got his act together. Catherine, what type of dog have you got? And how long have you had it? Is it a young one? Gordon Robertson, she's thinking and getting, did she not say? Yes, for the dog she's talking about. What was she talking about? Yes, a Turkish Kangal, Gordon. How are you on them? So there we are. So that's Kareem. That'll be very interesting. Catherine, what type of dog have you got? How long have you had it? Is it a young one, says Gordon? I enjoyed your show on FM, Scottie. I look forward to 8 p.m. Monday to Saturday. The Archie, I thank you. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, this is not Scottie McClue's late night phone-in. But hopefully it's been a place where people can go and have a bit of a chat, a wee bit of banter, a wee smile, you know, that sort of stuff. If we've done that, I've done my job. And I know a lot of you have been very, very generous at tapping the dollar, popping money into paypal.me/Scottie McClue, putting money into GoFundMe.com/Scottie-McClue. All these have got links at the top of the site there, guys. If you want to help with equipment, if you think, no, I can spare a $5 for McClue or whatever, you know, that's fine. He's entertained us for 28 years, you know. I just found out my street, there's a Facebook page. They're all partying and out with swimming pools and hoses, chasing the kids about madness. Noisy neighborhood now. Absolutely. Well, you see, wee ones, I'll tell you, I once got involved in a water fight with wee ones, you know, because they went, well, maybe Uncle Scottie will get involved. I thought, don't you dare put my name up for this. Anyway, let's just say there was a weapon involved called a super soaker. Has anybody ever come across one of those? And the children seemed to think it was funny to soak Uncle Scottie. It must be difficult for footballers to keep social distance. As soon as they score a goal, they want to hug each other, jump on top of each other, celebrating. I know, Tony, I've always thought if I was in football, I think I'd put a stop to that behaviour, you know, and just rule with an iron rod and say, we don't want all this hugging stuff going on. And also, it looks to me as if you could actually endanger another. What if you jumped or caught somebody by the neck by accident, all this leaping up on their neck? Some of them leap up on their back, their pal's back for a collie back. You know, stuff like that. I think we need to just, you know, why not just shout out, well done, sir. Good football. You know, that's what we need to see. Who's tapped the dollar? So there we are. So, yes, we need to stop that jumping on top of each other. Catherine says, Gordon, she's massive. She's 12 months old and has to be dressed. And my garden is still too new, approved, and a telephone interview. They said I could take my time, but I need a 6-foot gate and a padlock. Whoa. You should be an auctioneer, says Stuart Clark. Do you think so, Stuart? I did actually, funnily enough, you'll laugh at this, all these things McClue's done, but it's true. And I did actually get invited. Would you come and be our auctioneer? I said, but do you need to be licensed? And they said, I don't think so. Does anybody know about that? You need to be licensed. McClue is the auctioneer. Lot 303 showing here at the front. The model of the sailing ship Golden Hind. We don't think it's actually from the 1500s. It's a later model. I always remember being in the sale room and the auctioneer was selling a beautiful piece of pottery and he said, now, we haven't had this verified, so it could be genuine. It could be genuine. And then he went like this, he went, however, on the other hand, and one of the dealers shouts out, it's no. I love that when people say, so it could be a genuine diamond. What can we say? £5, £10. And people look round at each other, a diamond? Does he sell a diamond for £10? Say, no, it's just pieced. It's pieced. Huge recession on its way, Scottie. Really worried, but I hope there's a paradigm shift. A paradigm shift. Zero people's debts in the meantime. Pay when they're able to. More money in people's pockets. Boost GDP. Do you know, Robert Scrimgeour, that was my very first reaction when I realized the depth of what's going to happen recession-wise. This country, virtually all our lives, has been in recession because governments like to say we're really in deep doodah, but thanks to the present government you voted for, we'll get out of it, who are, whatever, Labour, Tory, Liberal, you know, all that sort of idea. Thanks to us, we'll get you out of the mess, you know, all that kind of idea. And then, just before the election, boom time, we've got everybody out, we've sorted the economy. Now, the politicians are really only given a certain amount, and they have to deal with that. Right? They can move it about, say, I'll take this from that budget and put it in that budget. And this is why I've had nice enough people, but completely ignorant people saying to me, they should take the money from doing up that Buckingham Palace and give it to the starving. You see, it doesn't work like that way, or we would be left with no society at all. Buckingham Palace is a national asset. It's only been done up about 3 times in its life. It was bought for £5,000. Do you not think if Buckingham Palace ever came in the market as a luxury hotel, there would be a wee queue to buy it? Yes. So come on, let's all just sober up. When the late Tom Honeyman, T.J. Honeyman, Dr. Tom Honeyman, a fabulous guy, he was a doctor in medicine, I think. And he was the Arts Supremo for Glasgow. And in the 1950s, he made a purchase of £8,000 for a painting. And people were doing their nut. Ridiculous. The folk are starving. They could have put the money into a hospital. They should have. And he got criticised very heavily, Tom. Wonderful. His courage, his shining light, his guidance in the arts. That was the Dali painting of Christ of St. John on the cross. And he obviously did a deal with Salvador Dali that it would be £8,000. Now, admittedly, when he did that, you'd probably have got a nice flat in the West End for about £1,000 or something like that. You know, that sort of idea. So, not too crazy, but, or less, maybe less. But when you look at it now, that painting is priceless. You know, priceless. Christ of St. John on the Cross. And when it was on show at the St. Mungo Museum in Glasgow, parties of school children would go and try to look up to see if they could see Christ's face. And we know what a beautiful painting it is. Christ of St. John on the Cross, £8,000. Thank you, Tom Honeyman. We appreciate it. I had a dog who could jump really high. His name was Skippy. Says the Archie. Old dogs can. So huge recession. Yes, zero the debts. That was my first thought. Zero people's debts. See, there was no need for recession. That was political. For austerity, I mean. That was political. And that was to get people to bring back the gold and give the money back to the bankers who had made a mess of it. And the bankers didn't have to pay or anything. I mean, I think it was Iceland jailed their bankers, for that. But our government thought, we need to get the banks recovered. We need to get the money back off the people, so we'll have austerity. No money. Bring out your gold. Old ladies selling their gold wedding and engagement rings to get a few pennies to pay the gas company. I mean, tottity tot. And so there we are. Catherine, those are very big dogs, says Kareem. Absolutely, Kareem. Is that Pegasus behind you? Does it have a story behind it? William Wallace, yes, my father was a paratrooper. And he was with the 1st Airborne Division. They were dropped into Market Garden. They were dropped into Norway. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie... now, what's it called? The Heroes of Telemark with Kirk Douglas, when the Germans were making heavy water in the plants in Norway. And my father was parachuted into Norway and all sorts of stuff. Incredible what all these young men like him did. And then Market Garden Horsa gliders, which could be quite dangerous, fleets of them being towed behind the aircraft, for Market Garden, which was like a bridge too far. Major General Urquhart and people like that. So that's Pegasus. So I have that for my father. There's Massive. The working dogs to protect sheep can kill wolves. 80 seconds, as fast as a cheetah. It's a cheetah, Davy Young. Cheetah. Cheetah. There we are. Wonderful. Cheetah. Catherine, that's a dog and a half. Huge. Beautiful, though. Are they good-natured? Often it's the wee dogs that have the temperament problems. Well, absolutely, Gordon Robertson, but any dog, unless it was bred for fighting, which a lot of the wee terriers are, fox terriers, but any dog, like your little one, if you show them the kind of love you'll be showing them, the wee dog will grow up like that. None of my dogs have ever barked or bitten or anything like that, Yeah, so there we are. Old Reith, when he was a pup, could play a bit rough. He would jump up and tear new jumpers, and I think he caught somebody's finger once, and they're, don't worry about that, it's fine. That sort of stuff when he was a pup. But the little one I've got now is just absolutely self-contained. There's just no anger in that beautiful little guy, just incredible. So there we go, fantastic. They usually roam across vast areas of land. Their job's to protect the animals and master it. Apparently they can run at 60 to 80 miles an hour. For goodness sake, you need to be careful, Catherine, or you'll never see them again. Is going to grow the size of a mastiff. She's a happy lass. I can remember my little one. He could take off across a whole patchwork of fields, leaping all the fences. And I said to the guy that got me, I said, "You ran away on Saturday night when we were out in the country." And he went, "Well, go and get him." I said, "How am I going to outrun a Labrador pup? For goodness sake." Can barely outrun myself. What do you get when you cross a sheep and a kangaroo? You get a willy jumper. Cracked up, I know. All right, Davy Young, what about this one? What do you get when you cross a mute owl with a skunk? Right, answer me that one. My downloads and music taking forever. A new PC. Gordon Robertson. Gordon Robertson's just tapped the $1, guys. Gordon Robertson, you generous, wonderful, lovely man. Very, very, very naughty. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy indeed. Well, there you are. Gordon Robertson has just sent £4.99. I suspect it was a £5 when it left his pay. So there we are. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been more than generous. And do you know what he says, guys? You'll see it on the stream there. He says, from Toya, Oliver, and me. Toya has got a capital T, that's the hamster. Oliver has got a capital O, and me has got a small m. That's the mark of that man. Yes. McClue is a bit of a blowhard, as you know, Gordon, but that's the mark of you. Thank you. Gordon, thank you very much for that. It's very generous. You're a naughty boy. Naughty boy. Well, Gordon has tapped the dollar. Yes, says Catherine, she's pretty much how the street looks tonight. Scottie, I'm late. What's happened? Professor Numpty, where have you been, China? So there we are. Welcome to Professor Numpty. Guys, can I get some more likes, please? It's lovely. What I'm looking at here, I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the likes, and I'm looking at who's tapped the dollar. Woo! Full house. Nice one, Gordon. Very generous, and very helpful to the general fund. Thank you, Gordon. I thought to myself, you know, it'd be interesting if there were 1 million of us watching, and when you needed funding for equipment, if you said, could everybody please send me a quid? And everybody did. We'd be able to go straight out there and buy the lot. Fantastic. Buy a radio station. Davey, stop playing with your music and pay attention to Scottie. Absolutely, Davey. Lol, Catherine, a music daft from the 50s to dance, aren't we all? Alistair Campbell has tapped the dollar. Alistair Campbell, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Very, very generous, very thoughtful. Beautiful people. That's 3 of you tonight have tapped the dollar. Top, 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 top. But it's very much appreciated. Thank you. Very, very kind of you. Spiegel and Spiegel is sublime, if you like, classical music. So there we are. Grobler. We love classical music. We like all music. We are very big. I'm just sorry that YouTube runs into copyright, so I can't play music, because I think it would really make the show if I could say, right now I've chosen this for you. Play it, let you hear it, and just see what it'd be like. That'd be wonderful. This is what I could do on the radio, you see. This is why it's a little bit frustrating that, young as I am, I have to wait till I'm invited back on the radio to play you music. And the problem is we've got a generation of programmers who don't really understand talent, because they don't ask the DJs to DJ. They just say, right, just play what's on the computer, do what you're told. And what about Scottie? What about having an old guy at night on a hit radio station? Oh, no, because they don't realise how big it is. They don't realise how big Scottie McClue is. I didn't realise how big Scottie McClue is until I told you about what happened when I went to Greece. Scottie, if everyone gave up smoking, where do you think they'd add the extra tax to cover this? As I have known smokers that never had a day's sickness in their life until they get the lung cancer or the heart attack or the brain tumor. I know what you mean, absolutely, but that's what can happen with smoking. If you look at old smokers, they're very puffy about the eyes. They're every corpuscle and vein and artery will have closed up, and they're fighting for breath. And if you watch smokers, sometimes their shoulders are up here, you see, because they really are struggling for breath. And also watch an old smoker walk. They'll quite often have a limp because they're what we call throwing a leg, and that will be from things like thrombosis and narrowing of the arteries. Gordon, the Congo regards you as its flock. This is Catherine's dog. Will put themselves between you and any perceived threat. They aren't always good at being trained. They are discerning creatures with minds of their own. I can remember attending a farm, and the farmer said to me, he said, Scott, you want to see the dog working? I said, oh, I'd love to see that. He said, no bother. Right, and then he goes, here, she's here. Come on, you. And then out she goes, gets the sheep round, doing the full bit, and she goes, come by this. And all this stuff. In comes the sheepdog, bringing in the sheep right up to me and the farmer. And as soon as they got up, he goes like this, whoa, lambs, whoa, lambs. And the dog lies down at the back, and the lambs stopped, all rounded up, right up. I was able to pat the lambs. And he said, come in here. And the dog shot round and sat down beside him. And I was about to pat her, black and white border collie. I was about to pat her. He said, oh, no, watch your hands, son. No, don't touch her. She doesn't like that. So they were a working dog. So be very careful. Don't interfere with a working dog. She's used to her training, all that sort of stuff. And she wasn't too friendly to strangers. And he was frightened that I might just get a wee snap, from patting the dog, because she was very highly strung and very highly trained, watching everything. Wonderful, wonderful dog. Money's just paper, Scotty. At the end of the day, backed up by the government, they keep the people shackled to debt. Well, of course, Robert Scrimger, I was sort of getting by until a con person relieved me of my life savings. And, that was that. And I had to start again at the age of 52. Very strange. Someone attacked the Dali painting years ago and it cost a fortune to repair it. Yes, you can still just see the repair. What's happened is the Dali painting has now acquired glass. And when I was wee, it didn't have any glass. I used to go up and see it when I was tiny because it was still, this was the early 60s. It had really just arrived 4 years before. I think, was it 56 it arrived or 52? Can't remember. Anyway, it was attacked, and I think the gentleman who attacked it was a devout Catholic and felt that there was an element of, what do you call it? An element of, not heresy, because it's not heresy, but there's a word for it. Anyway, can't remember the exact word, but, he was convinced that this was sort of almost like anti-Christian and attacked it. I don't know the details or what happened to them or anything, but the poor painting was obviously attacked. But having said that, you see, again, it invoked strong feelings in people. But I don't know who it's based on, but I think it's just a stunningly beautiful painting, a beautiful piece of work. And if you look at the bottom, you'll see Galilee, which I think was based on Dali's village. I think Dali lived in or came from a little fishing village. And he had based the bottom of the painting. You can see the boats, you can see the sky and the sea and all that sort of stuff on the painting. And then you've got the cross, and it's just magnificent. And he was pilloried, Tom Honeyman was pilloried for buying that for Glasgow. So you can never really win with the Dafties, they won't. I notice a lot of people will always have an objection. These kind of people, they vox pop on the news. So what do you think of everybody coming in? All these immigrants coming into the coast, what do you think? And they vox pop people, and they go, oh, they should be sent straight back, to wherever they've come from. That's what I think anyway. We're taking control of our country, and they'll come out with all that nonsense. It's very difficult to get a really switched on person that goes, well, these are human beings and they're only trying to survive. The West has been and bombed their country out of existence, and they're just trying to survive. That sort of idea. What would the book be like on the other foot? What would the book be like if some foreign power had bombed us to the ground and we thought, quick, get out, get in a boat and go to Ireland or go to America, or just go onto the continent and see if we can maybe cross the continent and go to the Middle East for sanctuary, that sort of thing, the boot would be on a different foot. It's so very, very strange. And when I saw these beautiful people talking in the Lebanon the other day, getting together to help everyone after the explosion, there we go. They just seemed lovely, lovely people. Do you remember a guy called? Oh, right. No, Anthony, I can't mention the names of people like that. No, because we don't know what's going on. Most expensive item I ever saw auctioned. Anthony, you need to have a wee look at media law. This would be good for you. I'm not having a go by any manner of means, but you need to have a look at what you can say and what you can't say. What's good for saying and what's not so good for saying. And then it will help you as well. So there we are. And as I say, I'm not having a go. I'm just giving you the nod because I know you're a very clever man and a very fine broadcaster, and it would just take you up that next stage. Most expensive item I ever saw auctioned, a bottle of Macallan whiskey orange fruit flavour, won £60,000. Yes, well, you see, if you've got, it's funny when you're saying money is only paper, because it is. And when you go to the bank to borrow, you say, what was it you're looking for? You say, £1,000. They type in £1,000 and they say, that's your account opened. Now you have to pay us back at such and such a rate. And you think, is any cash actually changed hands apart from me? And the interest on that will be such and such. So what you'll pay back's $1,500. You think, right, so they're getting a gift of $500 because they've got a facility that can type in 1,000 to. We need to have a look at all this, don't we? Somebody says, we owe so many trillion pounds in debt. Who to? Who to? Predictive text, says Davy Young, and he says a B word. So there were. But if you've got millions and millions of pounds, you have a limited lifespan, and you think, I'll just buy that at 60,000. Does anybody remember a woman trying to get rid of 16 million in a London shop one afternoon? And I think the shop had to sort of report it. It was just too ridiculous. Some money that they had trying to get rid of it in a shop, And an Irish Terrier lived till it was 16, Eddie Doyle. That's brilliant. 16 is very good for a dog because you're 112. Have I got that right? 7 times 16, 70, 42. So there you are, 112 your wee Irish Terrier was. Scottie, will there be a wee clip tonight? I think there should be, Kareem. We'll maybe have a wee clip. Uncle Ben has died. No more rice guy. I got a packet of rice for my Christmas from Uncle Ben. Dinky-Doo to the Lord of the Interweb, Shelby. How lovely to have you on. Shelby is from Sheffield. Fantastic. Yes, we could have a wee clip tonight. So there we are. Robert Scrimger, fantastic, 60 grand. But if you've got that, the money is not, because what else is it? What good's it doing in a bank? So you say, I've just bought a bottle of whiskey with 60 grand. People with obscene, if you like to call it that, it's just money. But if people have huge money, they can just phone up and get a new car just like that delivered. It's incredible. But I never grudge anybody having money. I'm only interested in those who are trying to get by who haven't got it. Oh, tremendous. That tea's gorgeous. It really is. Bridge Too Far, good film. Sean Connery. Well, Sean Connery played General Urquhart, and General Urquhart lived out in Stirlingshire all his days. Wonderful, wonderful guy. So there we are. Sean Connery, Dick Bogard, yes. Robert Redford, Michael Caine. Anything with Michael Caine in it's a winner. Did your dad ever see it, Scottie? The Glory was a more accurate version of Market Garden. Oh, my dad told me about Market Garden, but my dad was different from me. He was a very quiet man. and you had to prize information out of them. And when I was sitting watching Heroes of Telemark, that's when Kirk Douglas and his buddy blow up the ferry with the heavy water on it that the Nazis are trying to ship out. And you'll see that in it, a lot of commandos were just blown up. Their aircraft crashed in the movie. But I was watching it with my father, and I said, "What's this about, Dad?" And suddenly he was sitting, he was puffing his pipe and had the volume down quite low. And he said, "It's about heavy water." I said, "What's heavy water?" He went, "Well, it's effectively nuclear explosive, and the Germans were manufacturing so they could get the bomb." And he was going on like this. And of course, when the Norwegians took action, the Germans massacred the whole village. There are villages that are just being rebuilt now that where all the people were killed in the war. They were massacred by the Nazis. And but they took a chance, very, very brave people. They took a chance to try and save their homeland. And my father and I were watching this, and then I suddenly realized I was watching a movie with a man who was there. You know, incredible. I was watching a movie with a man who was actually there. Because to us, they're just like an old movie, you know. We like an action movie. And who else? Michael, Michael Redgrave was in it. Is that the one you were thinking of? You think of Michael Redgrave, Vanessa's father. Scottie, yes, a wee clip tonight. Yes, you're quite right. You're quite right. You're quite right. Wait a minute. I'm getting behind. I remember our dog had to get the snip. He gave us dirty looks, wouldn't talk to us for a fortnight. Cross between an Alsatian and a Labradori. I think Labradors come from Canada. Well, they come from Labrador, and they were fishing dogs, Tony, as I was telling people last night. I can just imagine Catherine getting dragged at 80 miles an hour when she's out with the dog chasing a wolf. I once got dragged down the tenement steps by a big lab. Fox, says Davy Young, can't put a foot wrong with this dog. I need to do the thinking and watching ahead so she isn't put in a compromising position with other dogs that may be off the lead, etc. Big job. Yes, Catherine, we need to think about that. What's up with Thomas tonight? It's being very quiet. No, Gordon, we've had a good old banter with Thomas earlier, and he's not in the doghouse tonight. Last night, he was just on the cusp, because I don't want the stream ruined by sort of bad feeling or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's been such a fantastic stream. The owl and the skunk joke was a bird that smells but doesn't give a hoot. Eddie Doyle, you're spot on. That, folks, for those of you that missed it earlier, what do you get when you cross a mute owl with a skunk? You get a creature that smells terrible but couldn't give a hoot. We love all that. I could not want that one out, Eddie, says Davey. My wee fox left his body impression in the grass. The fox will have to go somewhere else for its scraps if I get the dog. Oh, yes, we don't want the dog going out there. I used to kid on my dog that I was throwing something for him to catch. I loved the look in his face when there wasn't anything for him to catch. I know, Tony, but how would you like that? You know, if somebody said, Tony, why don't you come round for your tea? I said, oh, that'd be lovely. And away around the go. I was only joking. There's nothing to eat. Yes, the working dog and farm dogs are like that, Scottie. Highly strung, very highly strung, but very brilliant. But the farmer saved me. I think he was in a bit of a panic. He thought, watch, you'll take the hand off your son. Concerning the flock's getting restless about where it's going. What's the plan? Alistair. Well, we don't know. It depends on the day job. I think we'll definitely do Monday. And nothing tomorrow, of course, but we'll do Monday. And then we'll see about timings, what suits, what's best for everyone, because other people might be starting J-Dog, J-Dog, T-Jobs, J-Dog, do you see what I just did there? J-Dog went away for his supper. Other people might be starting day jobs as well. So there you go. No problem, Scottie. Thank you for the kind words. Not at all, Tony. No, I'm just looking after you. Do you see what I mean? Scottie, Monday approaches. We're all back. I won't lie. I'm worried. With 33 kids to a small crammed changing room and narrow corridors. Our rate will be up in a few weeks here. Watch this space. But you're not back full-time on Monday, are you, Kareem? Are they not sort of going to stagger the return? I was trying to make head nor tail of it. Kareem, such a worrying time for you and everyone getting back to schools. Sorry, Scottie, I'm a bit behind tonight. Is your last show? No, not the last show tonight. We'll be on Monday, but we'll have to see after that. Pentherophobia, lol, is the fear of your mother-in-law. Well, Kareem, you must remember the old mother-in-law story when the guy goes to the door on a Sunday lunchtime and his mother-in-law's standing there and it's bucket and rain. He says, darling, don't stand out there getting soaked. Away him. The mother-in-law got kidnapped. The gang wanted £1 million at 8 o'clock in the morning. By lunchtime, it was a fiver. By 3 in the afternoon, they were ringing us up to say, could you come and get her, please? That's got my tea. I hope you're staying on after 10 as I missed the first hour. So sad. Well, Catherine, since it's you, I might actually just stay on a wee bit. Scottie, what kind of tea is it you're drinking? I'm a tea, Jenny. I love my tea. Eddie Doyle, I think we're at the Yorkshire tonight. I love the Yorkshire. But earlier in the day, it's the Earl Grey. I got introduced to that at work. A lady said to me one morning, I said, excuse me, I wonder, could I by any chance borrow a tea bag? And she said, I will make you a cup of tea. Does Earl Grey suit? I said, oh, yes. And she gave me a cup of Earl Grey first thing in the morning. And I thought, that's outstanding. So after that, it's been Earl Grey. But as a wee stim, I've got the Yorkshire, which is beautiful. Aye, that's it. There we are. Craig, you've spoken to so many interesting people in your life, Scottie. Fascinating. Catherine, I'm very, very privileged. I've spoken to some very, very interesting people, some very pivotal people, if you like. I don't like to say important people because all people are important to me and always will be. Except the person that took my life savings. They're not important. I'm dog sitting tonight for my niece. It's a French bulldog, beautiful little dog, a nice temperament. So your niece has a niece dog. And does she stay in Nice? Yes, very nice. No, a bit of dog sitting's good. I looked after a red setter for friends of mine. It was just such a privilege. Although I must remember, I was in the Bath, big flat in the West End. I was in the Bath one afternoon because I was going out in the evening. And I saw her, I had the door open, and I saw her go up and down the hall several times. And I thought, what's she doing? And she was parading to the bin in the kitchen and removing one item with each walk and very neatly putting it down in the hall and then going back for something else. So when it came out, there was like a bacon wrapper, biscuit packets, nothing that was a problem, but they were all laid out, crisp bag, all that in the hall. I don't know what she was at. I always thought that the mongrel dogs had more individuality and intelligence than pure breeds. They don't seem to be so prone to health problems either, which can affect longevity. Just my tuppence worth. We love your tuppence worth, Grobbler. Scottie, just test out different times next week and see what suits best. Trial and error. Yes, if we probably announce now that our big stream at 8 till 10 at night will probably not be happening after Monday, and then we can try out some times and see what we can do. We need to get more subscribers. That analogy you gave about someone getting invited for their tea and arriving only to find out there was nothing to eat, did that take place in Edinburgh? Ah, yes, you'll have had your tea. Come in. We're Glasgow. What would you like? We're just going to have our tea. Would you like to join us? No, I'm getting away. And oh no, sit down. Jesse, get another place for Scottie. Stayed for his tea. No. I honestly, sit down. For goodness sake. It's only a bit of supper. Jesse, I want a wee bit bacon and egg and no, don't. It'll be a wee while. We're going to have our soup first. And sometimes the bigger the family, the more generosity. You know, I remember popping round to see a big family, a big Catholic family. And, mother was sitting with a tiny wean, and sister was eldest sister would be maybe 17. And she says to her, Mary Hen, going to take this wean off me till I get Scottie a wee bit something to eat. And father was standing at the sink, joining in the conversation and drying cutlery all the time. I know what you mean, Scottie. Quite right. Just going on, and they were just gorgeous. Lovely, lovely, lovely people. Scottie, any plans for tomorrow? Always plans, Kareem. Although the best laid plans of mice and men gang aft a glee. Are you familiar with that one? So there we go. The best laid plans of mice and men gang aft a glee. But there we are. Gordon, I'll tell you what's interesting. You would understand that. You might be too young to remember that there was a social period in the late 60s and early 70s. You got invited to people's houses, but they didn't feed you. There was just the cheesy balls and the twigs and the crisps, which came out about 10:30 when you had quite a lot of wine. I was starting to talk quite a lot of nonsense. So there we are. And so what we would use to say, people say, we've been invited to the McWhackles on Sunday night. Say, right, well, let's have maybe a wee bit bacon and egg about 6 o'clock and maybe a wee bit apple. So we've had all that. Then we used to fry apple. A wee bit ham and apple in the pan. 57 variety dogs are the best, no doubts about that. They can be, Catherine. They're just full of character. I can remember walking up past the university on Gilmer Hill. I stayed in the West End. And I was aware of somebody watching me. I thought, am I being followed here? And I turned round, nothing. I thought, well, you're imagining it. No. I knew I was being followed. And here was a wee dog keeking round the bumper of parked cars. He used to have a row of cars parked up at Gilmer Hill. And I walked on and then followed me in and out the car. Another wee look, back behind. And this pantomime happened until eventually I encouraged her to come and see me and gave her a wee patch, wagging her tail. No collar, nothing. And I said, where have you come from? Anyway, long story short, she followed me all the way back from University Avenue, very busy roads, very, very traffic trained, crossed University Avenue, walked all the way up Byers Road. Gordon Robertson, you know about this. Crossed Great Western Road, all the way up Queen Margaret Drive, along Clouston Street, up Garrioch Road, and I could not shake her off. Anyway, I took her up and got her some food and some drink, and I couldn't get her to go. So I remember taking her the next day. I thought, somebody will have lost this wee dog. I can't keep her without permission. So I took her up to the police, and they took her in and took the details, and then said, by the way, see if nobody claims that dog. If you want to come back, we'll have a chat with you then. So that must have been the policy at the time. I think they said, because it'll just get destroyed, you know. All that. I thought, oh no. So I went away giving myself a row for what I'd done. Anyway, I slept on it and I thought, I'll go up to see if the police will still get the wee dog, and I'll see if I can get her back, because I don't want her living her life not being spoiled. She's come to me. Anyway, I went back up to and the police said, that dog's escaped. We were taking it in a van to the pound and it just took off on us. That dog's no got it any longer. I said, oh, right. Okay. And it was. He showed me the page in the book and it was scored through and it written on it, escaped. So there's a wee story for you. That's about 40 years ago. That's right, Scottie, we're all human beings regardless of titles or jobs. But I have had huge laughs, Catherine, at the karma of people that think they're something and they look down their nose at me. You know, one or two famous actors or managers, or that is SCOTTIE McCLUE. You know, and then it's very funny when somebody very, very senior comes up and goes, Scottie, so glad you've come to see us, dear boy. You know, and they're good. The boss knows him. Oh, aye, SCOTTIE McCLUE. Everybody knows SCOTTIE McCLUE. Very, very well connected behind the scenes. So it actually says that on Scottie's website. If you've never been to SCOTTIE McCLUE's website, get yourselves onto that, scottie-mcclue.com. And over 10 million people have visited that. And it actually says, in fact, I could give you some of the detail. Always had cats and dogs together. Kareem can't agree with that. Catherine, I love dogs. My friend went on the SPCA site. I could have more. I would. We're so lucky to have dogs. Not cats, though they are evil. No, Kareem, cats are not evil. That's a myth, like the crows were made out to be witches and stuff. No, cats are not evil. Cats are just incredible creatures. But if you're a dog man, it takes a wee bit of getting used to. But they're very beautiful. No, I love them. So there we are. I wasn't brought up to love them, and that's why I'm so very tough on people. But let me just give you a wee bit there. Shall we have a wee clip first? We'll have a clip away. Would you like a wee clip? What would you like as a wee clip? So there we are. Shall we have... What would you like? Anybody got any preferences for a wee clip? Anybody got any preference there for a clip? What do we got here? What does this do? SCOTTIE McCLUE. Anybody get any ideas of something they'd like to have? There's the late night show from the other night. That's fantastic, that. We love it. Right, I'll have a wee look on here. See if I can get you something nice for a wee clip. Tell 10 to tell 10. Guys, can you all share, please? Can everybody share while I'm waiting here? Just to see if we can get this clip on the go. That would be just genius. Just brilliant. Now, what have I got here? Right. I don't know. I might have to change the script for some of these, actually. I've got them in as the same idea. Deals with a complaint. What was this one? No. That's a challenge, that one. A wee challenge. Very funny. Have we had this one, I wonder? It's got a great deals with a complaint. Have you heard this one? Let's see what we've got here. Right. I'll just have to pop this in. You know the form by now. There we go. And get you a little bit of sound. If it's too loud,
there's a whole variety of places. This is falls here. Yeah. I don't they stop talking a bloody noise in and start listening to their bloody things. Wondering what's going on here for.
Oh, right.
They're wasting their bloody time. And
we'll not have that one. I think we've had that one actually before. Yeah, we'll get a little clip going.
You switch.
Whoa.
You buy those kicks.
Whoa. Got one here actually. We'll see we've got something here. We've got that one. And oh, there's so many different ones. The very cross lady, we've had her on before, haven't we? We had the cross lady on. Oh yes, we've had her on doing it. Mind you, it's quite a funny call. I'll let you hear this one and you can see what you think, because this one's actually quite good. She does on that. What has happened was I'd played a folk tune on air by mistake, and she didn't believe me, and she was doing a nut. So there we go. Right. I played an old Irish folk tune.
British culture. I just made that up there.
The song you played last night was an insult to British culture. A total insult.
In what way?
You knew what you were playing when you made your comments to Catherine following it. You said to Catherine last night that it was to keep the other side happy. So therefore, you knew that that was a rebel song.
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't believe it or not. So there we are. It came off a CD that was British folk music.
Well, Scottie,
well, I just made that comment to Catherine because she was on doing a nut and because she was jumping down my throat without thinking.
Well, she was rightly so, Scottie.
Well, no, she wasn't rightly so, because you've got to remember that's not British culture, right? There are two sides to British culture, and Catherine looks at one side and then there's another side.
Well, the thing is, Scottie, whatever way you put it, it's an IRA rebel song, and I don't care for the IRA, the UDA, whoever they are.
Well, let me tell you this.
In a program like that.
Let me tell you this, right? Let me tell you
I
this.
don't want to hear about the rebels' wife, and the phone it says I don't want to hear the facts. There's no room for that sort of talk, or these songs, or the music, or
Tell me this. Wait till tell us why not?
Why not? Because there's enough trouble. Why not?
That's nothing to do with trouble. Where is the trouble?
Where is the trouble? Okay, open your eyes.
No, wait a minute, man. No, you wait a minute. Stop shouting and bowing. Where is the trouble?
The trouble here.
Where is the trouble you're talking about? The enough trouble.
There's enough trouble with terrorist organisations.
Yes, but hold on. No, that was not a terrorist organisation.
The IRA. Well, you try telling that to the armed forces, Scottie, or the
No, I think you've got to just listen for a wee while and get things in perspective here, right? I've asked you a question intentionally because where is the trouble?
You tell me, Scottie.
No, you must know. You seem to know. You've told me there's trouble. Now, where is the trouble you're talking about?
There's trouble in Ireland, there's trouble in London, there's trouble in Ireland.
Hold on a minute. Which part of Ireland?
It's in the TV.
It's vital. It's absolutely vital. Which part of Ireland?
That's not your opinion, Scottie. It's not my opinion. It doesn't matter to me where the trouble is.
I'm saying to you, where is the trouble?
In Ireland, always has been.
Which part of Ireland?
I don't know, Scottie, because I'm not interested.
Well, this is not a terrorist organisation we're talking about here, right?
Well, the IRA, the UDA, to me, a terrorist organisation.
You see, that's because you only have a very, very scant knowledge of what you're talking about, and I actually resent it. You see,